It's time for Cox and Crendor.
Cox and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Broadcasting live. In 4-hour recording studios. Recording. Wake your ass up. It's the Crendor in the morning. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cox and Crendor in the morning.
Welcome
To the redo. To the Cox and
redo.
Crendor redo.
Man. Redos.
I need to address the elephant in the room.
Address the elephant.
It's not an elephant.
It's a pretty terrible elephant sound. It's like, is he trying to do an elephant sound? Because if he is, it's pretty bad.
It sounded like, you know when you get your CD or Blu-ray stuck in the player and it makes that weird noise? That's what it sounded like.
Or your Uncle Jeff at Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Just all the farts. So, we had a problem, and by we, I mean I. We recorded episode stuff, and I guess my file just deleted or got corrupted. I don't know what happened, but it's gone. So we are redoing. We're redoing everything.
Yep.
All of it is being redone.
We've done this all before.
And we're just going through the motions. It's not even going to be humor. This will be zero humor. This will be two grown men just going. It's like us making license plates on an assembly line now.
Yep. We're
just clank, bap, clank, bap,
We're
clank.
in Detroit. Got no money. Got no
money,
families, no home.
No family, no home.
Just license plates.
Just license plates. That sounds like a good song. I ain't got no family. I can't sing that.
You're failing all the sounds today.
I'm desperately trying to make up for the fact that I screwed up bad. So
you did. So hold on, let's try to retrack our steps.
Literally, you missed nothing. Thankfully, what happened was nothing, and we have really easy stuff to talk about. So, right off the top here, we promised we would go watch Divergent. And we also ended up getting the movie Rage. With Nicolas Cage.
Cage Rage.
It was fantastic. I feel like we also need to talk about Divergent in detail, because that movie was bonkers.
Yeah. So, Divergent, it's a movie. It's a movie.
I love how we just brace ourselves. Like, okay, so Divergent.
Divergent. It's a movie. You know, it's not the greatest. It's not bad, but it's
no, it's bad. It's
okay, it's pretty bad. But, you know, it's not the worst movie.
It's Harry Potter fan fiction is what it is.
Yeah, it's Harry Potter fan fiction with lore behind it that doesn't make any sense in a realistic sense.
No sense. Okay, the world has ended. No clue why the world has ended. And in its place is the city of Chicago.
Yeah. That
is like the last bastion of man.
Which makes no sense.
Maybe. Yeah. Why they'd pick Chicago, who knows?
It's because she wrote it here.
That's like when Dan Brown gets into like super detail about Italy. He's like, as Robert Langdon ran through the back streets of Milan, he thought to himself, wow, what a fantastic drink you can order at Frank's on 5th Street. It's only $4.99, and it reminded him of a better time. Like that. Like
as he ran through Arrivederci's bookshop, with the bookcases on the right, standing 8 feet tall.
He looked up and said, I wish I was 8 feet tall, much like the Da Vinci's statue of Da Vinci. You know, stuff like that.
Okay, I think they get it. That went on way too long.
I think that might have been the first time Crendor Jessied me. He was like, yeah, no, they get it. Shut up, dummy.
They get it. I don't even know what we were talking about anymore.
Anyway, so it's in Chicago, and for some reason in the post-apocalypse, in order to keep society going, they've divided into 5 factions, which are basically the houses of Hogwarts. You have the Gryffindor and the Slytherin and all those guys, except they're dauntless and...
it's really the only one I remember the name of.
Yeah, because they said it all the time. The
There's
people who only wore... Yeah, the people who only wore gray, the lawyer people.
The people that help everyone, the science people.
Yeah, there were 5. And then there were these weird group of, like, outcast people that made no sense why you would need every member, like, of the human race in order to keep your society going. And they're just, you know what? Screw those people.
Yeah.
Why?
Screw 'em.
Who knows?
They don't need them in society.
So we're told at the beginning that this is the way society runs, and it's very effective, and it's going to help them in the future. Our main girl is one of the. It is like, take the basic plot of Twilight, where it's like a very plain girl is thrust into a world of intrigue and sexy vampires, and so they're in love with her because she's so plainly beautiful, like that kind of thing. It is a plain girl from an even plainer caste in society that doesn't wear anything but gray, and they don't look at themselves in the mirror, and they don't have vanity and all that stuff. And then she chooses, essentially, or I guess it's thrust into this world of, like, big, buff, sexy dudes who are just you'll never amount to anything, but God, are you hot? Like, what is going on?
Like, even when they don't look at each other in the mirror, I was like, there's windows all over and water and, like, reflections of stuff. Like, I can just go over there. Like, if you're in a society that is like, we hate reflections and seeing yourself, they should, like, not have any of those things.
You make good points. Good, crazy person points. So you finally meet. I think we're like 7 minutes into this podcast, by the way. We haven't even gotten past the first, like, 10 minutes of this movie. You meet these groups for the first time the day that everyone goes to take their test.
Yeah.
And in this world, you take a test when you reach a certain age, who knows what age, 16, I guess, where you are chosen for whatever caste you're going to be.
Yeah. You
and
take a test that just determines all the things, but you don't have to follow it.
Everything about you. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. So everyone's standing in line outside for this test, and, the lawyers are all like, ugh, did you see that those peasants over there are just peasanting? And, everyone is a stereotype, right? Everyone's a stereotype.
Don't talk about us peasanting. You're over there lawyering.
Yeah, and it's very ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, how a train is running in the post-apocalypse, why they would waste resources, needed electricity to just run a train constantly.
I know.
A train that doesn't stop, by the way. It just runs constantly. So it's already an insane plot point.
Mm-hmm.
All these dauntless dudes just start jumping off the train.
Yeah.
Like, little kids are just jumping, like, woo!
Woo!
It was at that point that I realized I hated this movie.
I know.
I was like, oh, God.
It's like, do you see that they're showing how crazy and wild they are and how they love adventure? It's like,
they're jumping off a train. They're
just
great.
Dumb.
She goes into this testing facility, and Maggie Q, aka the woman who Bruce Willis kicks down a elevator shaft in Die Hard, whatever the fourth one is.
Yeah.
She is administering the test, and she's, like, all tatted out. Like, okay, so I'm going to put you under, and whatever you see, just react or whatever. And then it gets bonkers.
Okay. This is my favorite part. So, she's in the chair, and they're just like, boom, you're in the test now. So she's in the test, and she wakes up in the test, and there's a thing of meat, and there's, like, a knife. And she's like, what's going on? And there's a dog, and this dog's running at her, like, rah, 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 rah. And it's like, she doesn't know which one to choose, the meat or the knife. And obviously the meat is so you can throw it at the dog and he stops, whatever. And then the knife is you kill it. But she doesn't do either one of them. She's like,
can we point out, like, we get the premise here. The knife means, if you fight back, you're probably a dauntless, right? Yeah. If you throw at meat, you probably are using some other different skill, right? Whatever, fine.
But it's like, I'd do the same. I'd be like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I just run away. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So then the dog stops chasing her and is just like, and she's like, oh, a donkey. And then some little kid, like, version of her, I don't know, whatever, some little kid appears and they're like, wah! And the dog starts chasing them and she's like, hey, stop that. So she starts chasing after the dog. And then all of a sudden, she just, like, falls through the world or whatever. And that was like the whole test. And then I was like, that's it? That wasn't even like David Lynch movie crazy. That was just like a really dumb test.
And then she wakes up, and Maggie Q's all like, you gotta get out of here. You can't stay. I'm just gonna say that you're...
What's wrong?
I'm just gonna say that you're one of the gray shirt people. Just go. She's like, what happened? She's like, You're divergent.
So dumb.
Which Crendor and I both agreed, like, if that's all it takes, we'd be divergent.
Yeah, we'd definitely be divergent. I'd be like, oh. So, I mean, obviously, we are superior minds to all people.
So, of course, now we discover that she is essentially the one of this world, and she's divergent until you realize...
Hold on. I was thinking about it. I was like, your whole life, the whole rest of your life and choice comes down to whether or not, or what you do to a dog in, like, a dream. That's it. Your whole, like, there's not even a part, like, 3-part series of choices. It's just like, bam, what do you do with the dog?
And
that's it.
What's so insane about that is the fact that like, the premise is like, oh, she's the one who's gonna save them all, right? She's different. Except there are, like, plenty of other divergent people. Yeah. It's such a big problem, they're actively trying to find them all.
Yeah. So
really,
like, they make it out to be like she's this super special person. There's, like, divergents walking all around. It's like one in every 20 people.
So the premise is already wonky. But then after you take this test, then they say, well, you have the choice to choose what you want to be. So really, the test is...
It's like guidelines.
Yeah.
That's probably what you want to do.
They say most people choose what the test tells them to be, but some people, they don't. And...
they're the rebels.
So she and her brother on, like, the choosing day, which is basically... So you already had the hat sorting day, right, from Harry Potter. And now they slit their palms and, like, put blood on rocks to...
for no reason.
Simulate their allegiance. They could just be like, yeah, no, I'm with that group.
Yeah.
But instead you just slit your palm because, you know, they're hardcore like that. And
I'd throw rocks in a bucket.
Yeah, that makes just as much sense. Everyone in the city is there watching you do it, so, you know, no one's gonna be like, oh, that guy, he didn't slit his palm. He's not in it. The parents are from, like, the people who take care of other people class, and so the brother becomes a lawyer guy, and she becomes a dauntless. They're basically these city protectors. They're the guys who watch out for the city. They're the guys who take care of the wall that
really
protects
dumb.
them. They're basically like the army. Like, she joins the army. That's what happens here. And when she finally gets to the army base, which is, by the way, they all have to jump back on the train. No, I'm sorry. They all have to climb scaffolding to get up to the rail tracks to then jump on the train, which couldn't they just wait for that damn train to come by that hill they all jumped off of the first time? But whatever.
They could do that, or they could just, you know, make it easier on themselves.
They could just run through the streets of downtown Chicago, all hooting and hollering like, woo, woo.
But I mean, it is downtown Chicago. You probably will die. Just saying.
And so they climb the scaffolding, and they get on the train, and then they go to this, like, they have to jump off the train onto a roof. Why? Who knows? That's just how they do it.
I don't know. And then they get to the roof to, like, have this big test, like, jump from the roof into this big hole.
Oh yeah, the test is administered by Macklemore.
Yeah, Macklemore is given the test,
some
buffed
dude
up
looks
Macklemore.
Like 38-year-old Macklemore.
He's like, who's gonna jump? So now all these people that were just climbing shit and jumping on trains and jumping off trains were like, I don't want to jump in the hole.
No, God, no.
You kidding me?
And so the girl who let's keep in mind, the girl who to this point has never done anything exciting in her life, who up until like an hour ago, we had no knowledge that she knew how to climb. She could barely climb the scaffolding, right?
She can't even look at herself in the mirror.
She's afraid to jump. Like, suddenly she's like, I'll do it. Oh, okay, like, sure.
No, that's such a dumb... There's got to be one guy that would have been like, who wants to do it? And she's like thinking about it, and then like crazy man Carl's just like, right? I'll do it. I love being crazy.
Especially since some of them were born dauntless.
Yeah.
You have to imagine that they would be the first ones like, woo, let's do this. But maybe it was only the new people. No, because when they landed, they split everyone up.
Yeah.
What is going on in this movie? Okay, so anyway, oh my God, we are now 15 minutes in.
Okay.
we are maybe we're 15 minutes into a podcast, and we're maybe 15 minutes into the movie. That's how freaking wonky.
Because he spent 5 minutes talking about Arrivederci.
And then Robert Langdon ran past the Sistine Chapel, a place he had been many times. Oh, you
And
see?
jumped into the hole.
So anyway, now she's in this world of the Dauntless, and they're all soldiers and stuff, and that's when we see something that makes no sense. They're told right off the bat, based on these tests, the bottom ranking ones of you, after, you know, this couple weeks of training, will be kicked out of Dauntless and basically go live in the weird outcast people area. Which, again, let me state, makes no sense. They can't go back to their former groups. They are outcast. Why? You were trying to rebuild society. Why would you make an underclass of people who are infinitely, like, homeless? That are purposefully made homeless.
And you have to take care of them. Like,
there's a whole other group. Their job is to just take care of those people.
So
it's
you just
freaking
let them do
nonsense.
stuff. Let them plant crops.
Yeah, make them like, you know, oh, there's a farmer class. Like, why not make them farmers?
Yeah.
If they're gonna be homeless, put them to like. It's a nonsense thing. So
Makes no sense.
They
like,
say
look at Game of Thrones. They send them to the wall. They still have a purpose, even though they're outcasted.
Right? Like it's insane. So they're told, here's what's gonna happen. The ones who are lowest ranking, you're kicked out. You're gonna go be out in the wilderness or whatever, die. Everyone else, you'll either be sent to the wall or a city guard, or you'll be a captain, or you'll be a trainer or whatever. Then after this initial thing, in order to, make themselves all tough, they go get tattoos, because that's what I imagine a 20-year-old girl who thinks tough is.
Yeah.
I don't know. They go to get a tattoo, and there, of course, is Maggie Q again. She is the Dauntless tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
In a world where the Dauntless are supposed to be the security for the entire remainder of the population, why does this woman have time not only to be a test giver, but also a tattoo artist? What is her real job? What does she do?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know what she does. Like, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be on the wall? Our main character walks in. I don't remember this girl's name. That's how little I cared about her. She walks in, and she's like, oh, it's you again. And the girl's like, so you decided on Dauntless, huh? All right, sit down. Up until that point, she had just been chilling out in her tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
So again, I simply ask, what is her role in society?
Maybe she's
There's
a
a lot of
Dauntless person undercover.
There's a lot. She was a Dauntless. She was in Dauntless.
Oh, yeah.
In the tattoo parlor in Dauntless. So anyway, she gets a tattoo and it's 3 birds. The hardest tattoo possible. And of course her instructor is like this hunky guy who is maybe 10 years older than her.
Yeah.
He's best friends with 38-year-old Macklemore, so I assume he's pretty old.
Yeah.
And she, I think, is 16, maybe 15. Like, there's no way this girl is over 17. No way.
No way.
And he trains her, and she trains hard overnight, and he, like, gives her instructions, like that weird hip-holding instruction. Basically, half the movie is them training and her becoming very, very good under the tutelage of this dude who, like, just wants to bang her. And everyone gets jealous, and people, like, try to kill her because, they don't want to be crazy homeless people. So, again, let me remind you, people are murdering people so they aren't crazy homeless people out in the wilderness, because in this society, that's an option. F them.
Yep.
Put them out with the crazy homeless people.
It makes sense. It makes so much sense.
So they're killing themselves, and like, oh, God damn it.
So they take these tests. They take more tests to determine, like, if they really are a divergent or belong where they are.
Oh, yes, because what's her fate? Kate Winslet from Titanic is the bad guy, except she's old in this movie.
Yeah.
She's the bad guy, and she's like, I lead the lawyer classes, and we always tell the truth. Spoiler, the truth is that they're trying to take over. And so they're trying to find divergence, and yeah, it's poop.
So they try to do this, and then there's more tests, and she's really good at the tests, which are just really dumb quests and boring.
Speaking of those tests, though, they're based off your fear, so everyone's test is different. And they're all talking about how, like, one person had bugs all over them and in their mouth and stuff, and hers was like birds and fire. Maybe she just had really easy tests compared to everyone else. Because everyone was like, wow, you complete that so quickly. I mean, running away from fire, not that hard. Much harder to get bugs out of your mouth, I would assume. And she, of course, because she's divergent, can think outside the box. Apparently in this world, no one has cognitive thought.
Apparently not.
There were never critical thinking questions on any exams they took when they were younger. None of that happened.
They're just all like, "Oh, can't believe I'm in a test," and like can't realize it. It's like, wouldn't everybody be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in a test," if she can realize she's in a test? Like,
who knows?
Are they that dumb?
And oh god, like she saw, like they go on like a capture the flag thing, and she beats up Macklemore in order to, there's of course there's a big strong like girl who's like 10 feet tall, and she beats up on her all the time.
Yep.
And then of course in the end she beats up on, like, she gets revenge. It is every possible. I can't even talk about this movie anymore.
So
it angers me to talk about it.
Let me just get to the end. So there's like her mom rescues her. They start injecting people with serum.
Oh, by the way,
that
her
makes them
mom,
easy to
spoiler,
control.
was originally a Dauntless and still knows how to use all the weaponry and is very good with it. Okay,
so her mom's like, "We're breaking out, let's go." She's like, "Boom, boom," and then her boyfriend guy is just like, "Oh no!"
The bad guys, we have. God,
bad guys, the lawyer people. They're just like, "We're gonna take over."
They inject people with mind control drugs.
Yeah, but it doesn't work on the Divergent people. So some guy's like, "Hey, why didn't the serum work on me?" They just shoot him. They're like, "He's a Divergent." They're like, "Dun dun dun." So then all things start happening. You get to the end.
And she does the thing like every comedy zombie movie does, where like a dude runs into a wave of zombies and is like, brains, and the zombies are like, brains, and they just keep walking together.
Yeah.
She does that, except with these guys who are like, must kill all the gray-shirted people, and then she's like, oh yeah, let's do that.
And then we get to the end part where they capture her boyfriend and everything, and she finds that they captured him, and the disc started skipping.
Yes. Our disc started skipping. I think if you recall, I tweeted out how mad I was at Redbox because it was ruining our movie, but it didn't matter because Crendor accurately guessed everything that was happening on the screen as it froze. It was amazing.
So then her boyfriend starts attacking her, and I was like, I bet he's going to be a Divergent, and he's not actually attacking her, and that was true. And then it skipped to, like, the lady.
Was it? Was that true?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That happened because it skipped so hard. And then we got to the lady who's evil.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
He was a Divergent the entire time?
Yeah.
I thought he just got beat up by his dad a lot.
No, he's a Divergent too.
Was he?
Yeah, because yeah.
Oh, well, that's even worse. I almost thought the ending was just bad. Now it's terrible. That was just awful.
Yeah. So then they inject the lady that's all the evil leader with the serum so that they can convince her to like stop doing all the things she's doing, which I would just stabbed her in the head. Yeah, I was just like, stab her in the head. Stab her in the head, then everything's over.
But she stabbed her in the arm instead, and then injected her with the mind control serum.
Yeah,
and oh god.
Then it's like, take that powers away from the soldiers by whatever, and then they turn off the power, and all the soldiers
you can
are
tell
like,
how
"Look at
invested
my
we are
zombies."
in this movie.
And then the lady gets away, so obviously the evil lady's gonna come back in the sequel. Dumb, they could have just stabbed her in the head. And then it started skipping again, and it got to the end, and they're all like, we need to get out of here. So they all start hopping on the train, and she's like, come on, guys, get on the train.
Then it skips again, and Crendor is like, there's going to be someone left behind. They got to grab him. And the minute he says that, and there's a face of a guy reaching out going like, don't leave me.
That's so great. And then it's like, yep, called that exactly. Mm-hmm. Divergent.
And then it goes to that weird end thing that's like, we didn't stop them now, but they can't mess with me because I'm Divergent, and I'll be back. And it's like, no, you don't deserve a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
That's Divergent. That's what we get.
It's Divergent.
We left out a lot because a lot of it was garbage.
Yeah.
There's a subplot about a man beating his son. About how the gray-shirted people are awful human beings. Really,
I just don't care about any of the characters.
None of them were likable. The only character who was likable was the asshole kid who kept picking on the girl.
Yeah.
Because he was basically Malfoy. He was like, so, you think you're going to do something stiff? Or whatever he called her. He's like, you're going to die out here. Like, wow, these kids are so young and they're so mean to each other. Why?
Yeah, I don't even know. This is dumb.
Yeah, it was pretty ruthless.
You might even say they were filled with rage.
Oh, speaking of rage.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of rage, guys, that movie is a phenomenal work of art. I'm gonna say it is up there with Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, the same Mona Lisa that Robert Langdon passed every day
on his way to the Sistine Chapel.
So, where do we start with this bad boy?
All right. Nicolas Cage is in it. That's all you need to know.
All right, so Nicolas Cage is a former mob enforcer / like gang member ?
Yep.
And he now leads a straight life. He's got a new wife. Who knows what happened to his old wife? I guess it doesn't matter for this story. He's got a new attractive wife.
Yep.
And his daughter is also gorgeous for some reason. Who knows?
But she's like in high school and looks like she's 30.
Oh, she's that weird Hollywood version of high school. But and she talks like she's who's the girl from The Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember her name. Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Talks like her in that very forward and sort of flippant sometimes and always joking like voice tone. So
Dad.
She's really entertaining to watch. She's in the movie all of 5 minutes. Like she's one of the best parts of the movie, and she's in the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
So what happens is Nicolas Cage goes out with his wife to dinner with some business clients or whatever for his new job. His daughter is going to stay at home with 2 guys she knows, which I think is a little strange.
Yeah.
If I was a father, I'm not sure how I'd feel about my daughter spending the night with 2 guys.
Yeah.
But whatever. And they're like, we're just going to stay home and play video games. And Nick Cage goes up to one of the guys and is basically like, so you want to do my daughter? And the guy's like, I think she's beautiful, sir. And he's like, here are some tips on how to do my daughter.
It's like, oh.
It's like, oh, okay. So while he's out to dinner, Danny Glover shows up as like a cop. And he's like, oh, I'm getting too old for this shit. And he's like, so I guess he knows his name. I don't know his name. Let's call him Rage. He's like, Rage. He's like, Rage. Something happened at home. I need you to come quickly. And we discover that while I was out at dinner, the home was broken into, and the 2 boys are all beat up, and they're like, some masked men came and they took your daughter, sir. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Right, that kind of stuff. And Nick Cage goes full rage mode.
Mode.
He's like, I need to find out who did this. So he goes and he finds his 2 best friends, who are basically stereotypes. You have tough, like super fit, but maybe 65-year-old British guy.
Yep.
You have old, slightly fattening Hawaiian shirt friend. And they're like, how can we help? We'll do whatever it takes. You helped us out in a fix and we'll help you, man. He's like, I can't give you any money. They're like, we don't want your money.
They're his old mob friends.
We don't want to take your money. This is personal. So they go around town while Nick Cage has to keep up pretenses that he's not hunting him down because Danny Glover, the cop, is like, please don't go back to your old ways. I remember, what you were like. Mm-hmm. Why they're friends, they don't explain any of that.
They don't.
And even his old boss, which is the actor who plays pretty much every Russian in every movie ever.
Yeah.
And he was the guy in the Call of Duty commercials that was like, I'll take over as you while you play Call of Duty. That guy?
Yeah.
Except he's playing a Southern dude. And I can't tell what his accent is because it sounds like he still has a Russian voice. But he's going he's like, don't do this, Frank. You can't do this. Or whatever his name is. Hopefully it's Frank. Because that sounded great. And so
pretty great.
that fake line of dialogue was pretty killer.
Spot on.
And he's like, don't go crazy. Don't seek revenge. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, his 2 friends are destroying the town.
Yep.
They're roughing up homeless people. They're beating up drug dealers. Like, there's this one guy that they go to his crack den, I guess.
Yep, crack den.
Beat him up, then find his girlfriend, tie his girlfriend to a chair, and almost jump kick her out a window for no reason.
And it's like, showed him. It's like, what'd that do? It did nothing.
No one knows anything. No one knows anything about it. So eventually they find her body. She was shot with a Russian-made gun. And that's when you learn that way back when Nicolas Cage and his 2 buddies were basically in a war with the Russian mob. Yeah. And they hijacked this car filled with cash, and they let one guy live, and so they assume that's the guy who did it, and he did it for revenge. And they're like, why would he have done it so many years later? No one knew it was us. We had masks. Like, there's all these weird plot holes that make no sense.
Yeah.
Rage goes ragey. And destroys everyone. Just starts murdering people left and right. And he goes insane. Like, he and his wife become estranged, and she's always crying, and he's like, I've got to do this for her, and she's like, do what you have to do, and then later she's like, why are you doing this? He's like, you said I had to do what I had to do, right? And his friends are like, you got to calm down, bro. Meanwhile, the Russian mob, who's led by another actor who's really famous who always plays Russian guys.
Yep.
He shows up, and so now the Russian mob's in on it, and a whole gang war breaks out, and vengeance is everywhere, and everyone's trying to murder everyone, and just gunfights and all sorts of crap.
It's madness.
And then Nicolas Cage goes crazy, basically, and turns on his own friends. It's insane. And then the ending, which we will not spoil, is so bonkers.
It's insane.
It's next level crazy.
Blows your mind. Your mind will be blown.
It was 3 a.m, so our mind was probably very susceptible at the time. But I do remember vividly us being like, the what just happened?
I was half asleep at that point, but my body was keeping me awake, and it was still just like, wow. This is madness.
It was
This is
rage. It was rage. It makes you
was
think
rage.
about life. It makes you think about life.
It does. It really it changes your life.
I guess that we just did an entire podcast of just talking about those movies.
I know. It's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Yeah. We need to do something related to our original podcast premise, or else this is insane.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now let's go to chapter number 7 of the sky with Crendor. How's that traffic out there?
Traffic out there is pretty crazy today. We got some stuff going on. It's a Monday. People are all driving all around, so that's pretty fun. I see Martin Whitley down there. He's shaking hands with Nicolas Cage at his book signing. It appears he has a lot of rage from that movie he made. There's also David Hilbarath, and he's writing Divergent 2. He's going to be sued for copyright. That's all we got down there. Back to you.
Thanks, Crendor. What's going on in the world of sports besides violence against women?
People being yelled at for not doing stuff against it, right?
Here's the thing.
NFL
I feel like you
commissioners.
should have just stopped.
I probably
Been like, and then it stopped.
just edit
There is
that.
nothing. Nothing else has happened.
Just here. Edit that.
I'll get right on that.
Okay.
Okay, and then what do we have? Weather.
Weather today. Appleby, Texas.
Did
Probably
you just
the
type in Applebee's?
Yep. Applebee's.
We're gonna go to Applebee's.
We got 88 degrees right now, 84 degrees. Tomorrow, 87, 87, 86, 85, 87, 90, 89.
Hike.
Omaha. Red 42. Red 42.
So that's fantastic. Good job with the heat, Applebee's.
Uh-huh.
Do we have any news stories? Do we have any? We don't have time for a news story, do we?
We got 2 news stories. There's F It, I Quit TV reporter Charlo Green quits live on air in spectacular fashion, or man desperate for iPhone 6 rents out girlfriend to fund Apple handset.
Hello, second one. What?
We got, okay, so the new iPhone 6 is one coveted piece, but would you sell your girlfriend to buy one? The man in Shanghai offered to rent out his other half, reportedly to generate cash to buy Apple's latest gadget. He advertised the girlfriend share on a place card near the campus of Songjiang University with deals available by the hour, day, or month.
Wait, in what capacity? Like a sexual girlfriend?
I have no idea, but the sign said sharing girlfriend for pocket money. 10 RMB, which is...
Wait, hold on. Who's his girlfriend? If I was his girlfriend, I'd be pissed off that, like, sharing girlfriend for pocket money?
For pocket money.
Look,
£1 per
I'll
hour.
I'll give you her for a little bit.
It's the equivalent of £1 an hour, £5 for a day, and £50 for a month.
Wait, that's like $10. So for $10, I
Yeah.
can get his girlfriend for a day?
2 days.
Wait, but...
$10 is probably 2 days. $5.
I don't...
Like,
But... Why?
I don't know.
There's a problem with this story.
There is. This sounds like he's
The
a pimp.
woman... I want to know the woman's point of view.
Yeah.
I don't imagine she's too happy with this.
No. I highly doubt it.
Actually, the more I think about it, I'm not sure he even has a girlfriend.
I feel like she's just like she's been captured and he's doing this.
We need to go there and save her.
Yeah.
And look, if she wants to do it, go on a date.
Yeah.
If she's down with it, I will gladly pay $10 for a date.
But, like, he's taking the money from this.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. No, oh, well, then we'll take her on a date, and while we're on the date, we'll be like, what are you doing with this guy?
Or
You
we'll be
realize
like,
you
do you want to
can-
get free?
Yeah, like,
Like-
no, we should be like, look, if you're into this, why are you letting him make the money? You make the money.
Yeah.
Get out,
'Cause
cancel out the middleman. This guy,
like a
he's
pimp.
using you to get an iPhone. Use your own money. You can get out of his house. You can go live your own life. This is what you're into. And if she's not into it, we free her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't understand. Like this, besides, like it's the most douchey thing on every level. So, asshole rents out woman to other people on campus for quote unquote pocket change.
Mm-hmm.
And then uses it to buy an iPhone
Yeah.
for himself?
Yeah.
Oh God, I want to find this girl and be like, oh honey, you can do so much better.
Honey.
Honey,
What
you
are
can
you
do
doing
so
there,
much
man?
better. You can do so much better, girl.
Uh,
Oh, we gotta do the other story. What was the other one? A dude just quits live on air?
this woman, KTVA reporter Charlo Green, quit her job on live TV last night, outing herself as the owner of an Alaskan cannabis club and declaring F it.
Yeah, woo!
In a jaw-dropping twist to the end of a segment she was presenting, she said, "Now everything you heard is why I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy towards fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with the legalizing of marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, that I have a choice, but F it, I quit."
Do we have a picture of this woman?
Yes. We have the...
Oh my God, I need to see this
slinky little
photo.
thing.
Are you kidding me? That I love her.
Love at first sight. She wants her cannabis.
Dude, she's gorgeous. I'm in. I'm
I
in.
know. You're in.
Daddy
You
like.
found- You found another future ex-wife.
Future ex-wife, the leader of the Alaskan Canada. Look, she's from Alaska. Her standards are very low.
Very low up there, eh?
And there's so few people in Alaska that the person running the news segment is also the person who runs the cannabis club. There's so few people to hold positions. They're like, do you sell drugs? Yeah, okay, you can be on the news.
We won't even test you or anything. It's just-
Yeah, no. What are you gonna do?
yeah, what are you gonna do? Quit on air?
Yep, that's how we end that episode.
Oh, I didn't get to talk about Maze Runner. I'll talk about it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I'll go see Maze Runner then.
Yeah, go see Maze Runner. We'll talk
Our
about it
podcast
tomorrow.
is slowly becoming just us seeing
Movie
movies.
reviews.
What happened to us?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and as always, I want some hot chocolate.